Hello, and welcome to some videos on completing your final project for Foundations of Math 12. So I want to start off by saying, no, there's no final exam. This is in place of the final exam, the final project. And this is going to be your summative assessment for the course. And it's a little bit maybe different than what you've seen in other courses, but the idea is that the final project is going to be something that's meaningful to you, and it's going to give you a chance to practice skills that you wouldn't normally get the chance to in math courses. However, many of you may be going to post-secondary institutions, whether that's college, university, or Bible college, whatever it might be. And there are going to be so many times where you're going to have to do a final project and specifically a presentation as well. So this project is in two parts. You're going to have a complete written section, a written section where you actually do a full report. And then you're also going to have a presentation that you meet with me on Skype and you actually complete it. So it has to, involve math and talk about things that you learned in the course and contain math content. But the idea is that you'll be able to do your project on something that interests you. So instead of just, doing a final exam and answering a bunch of questions, now you got to focus on something that you're interested in. Think about a problem or just a topic of study that you wouldn't mind doing, and then dive into that, do some mathematical analysis, and then present your findings. So, where do you begin? Number one, you got to begin with a topic. What do you want to do your project on? So, if you're like me, you might be a little bit nerdy. I was just waiting there this whole time. So I really like Nintendo. I've been playing it for a long time. As you can see, these are the old Nintendo versions, like the original Metroid and Final Fantasy. Then I got older and I got into Super Nintendo. I've got my Zelda, my Super Metroid. I even got into collecting. So I have games like Chrono Triggers and Earthbound. And then as I got a little bit older, even past that, I graduated and got my Nintendo 64. I actually have so many N64 games, so I'm not going to bring up my huge stack. But Ocarina of Time was the absolute classic, as well. As Smash Bros. I'm a very, very big fan of the Smash Bros. Franchise, and Melee was probably the game that I have put the most time into in my life. And I really, really love good old Samus. She's amazing. And now I have a Switch and I play a bunch on the Switch as well. So I really like video games. Maybe I could somehow do an analysis of some sort of game, some sort of genre. I also really love mountain biking. Mountain biking is awesome. It's my favorite sport, bar none. And I could see that there would be a lot of things that I could do research into in regards to mountain biking. I love reading. I love getting outside. There's lots of different topics that I would be able to pull from. I love like travel, even like I've been to. I'm just thinking now, like I've been to Europe and I've seen all these like really cool places. So figure out some sort of topic area that you would like to do a little bit of research into. And then from there, we need to find a question. So, what is the question you're asking? You know, I'm really into Super Smash Bros. So maybe I would look at who is the best character in this game, the character that has done the most wins. Because I'm very into the scene, I know that's probably going to be Fox or potentially Jigglypuff, depending on who you talk to. But there's definite reasons why those characters do so well in tournaments and why people choose to play them over and over and over again as their main. And it could be interesting to do an analysis of the tiers. Why is this the best character in the game? Why is this the worst character in the game? What makes the best character better than the worst character? And what do they have that the worst characters don't have? I could do it on mountain biking and look at, distance. I drop or I jump based on how many pedals I complete leading up to a jump. Or I can look at how different bikes do on a trail. Maybe you want to go back all the way, to a Mario series and, study, the fastest speed runs of the game and how that's always progressing. Maybe you want to have like a business idea. One of my students recently did a really great final project on a business proposal that she really, really wanted to start in the community. And she talked about why it would work and did a really, really great synopsis. And I was very impressed. So let's get into the nitty gritty of the project itself. So there's a couple different areas that you need to basically get full marks, to be able to hit on all the different things that I'm looking for. So you need to have a plan. And I'm going to divide this. Basically, your project is going to have 3 distinct sections. It's going to have an introduction, it's going to have a main body, and then it's going to have a conclusion, what you found. And in addition to those 3 parts of the project itself for the written work, you're also going to have that presentation at the end, like I mentioned. So 3 parts to the written and then the presentation at the end. So when you're going to be, launching into the study, there's a few things that you definitely need to make sure that you have. Number 1 is you need to have math content. I can't emphasize that enough. You are in a math course, so you can't complete a project that has no math content in it. That will vary. It'll hurt your grade a lot. You also need to do research. So in this research, I want you to look at other people's research, so other people's data, what have they collected, what's already out there. But then I also want you to do your own research. This is an important part. I need you to do unique research that you have done. I suggest making a survey, sending it out online to Facebook or sending it to friends that you know or family. Get some people to fill out some data so that you have something to analyze. What did you learn? Maybe I could do that for my own project and do some analysis between friends that I have in the community or other mountain bikers, things like that. Then you're going to relate this. So I'm just going to go. So really quickly, I've already been talking about it, but I didn't say it. I've been talking about the introduction. So the introduction, what's your project? What's the background information? Now let's go to the main body. So the main body, now that you have that data, what does it mean? You're going to be doing some research. Explain your methods. What are you doing with the data? What graphs are you making? Why are you showing them? What tables do you have? Things like that. You have to present your findings in a meaningful way. And then once you've sort of gone through the main body and you've got all the different things, I do want you to make a connection to this course, to Foundations of Math 12. It might be hard for some of your topics, but the first chapter is on finances, the second chapter, leasing, renting, buying. There's probability and graphing. I'm sure that there's some way that you can implement things that you've learned from this course into at least one aspect of your project. And then we get to the conclusion. So now you've made it to the end. What have you learned? Did you solve the problem that you were originally presented with? Did you answer the question that you were trying to figure out? Did you prove your hypothesis? Did you not prove your hypothesis? Is Fox the best character in this game, or is it actually Falco? And then after you've made your conclusion, you should have citations. So citations are really important. Tell me where you actually got your information from online, who did that research. It's really important to be able to do that correctly. And then lastly, once you've made it to the end, that's awesome. Then you're going to present your findings to me. And I'm going to screen share. I'm going to have another little video that you can watch after this one. But there's going to be a presentation as well. So at the end, we are going to meet face-to-face. Again, this course has 2 mandatory Skype meetings. One is at the beginning to do your introduction, and then the other is to do your final project. So the presentation can look a lot of different ways. You're able to screen share through Skype. So if you make a PowerPoint, you can show that way. Maybe you're old school, you might have a poster in behind. As you can see, this is an awesome painting here that my mother did many years ago. So maybe you want to have like a poster that you'll be referencing and you'll be walking me through. You can use Prezi, but I do want to meet face-to-face. You can't do your final project as a video because I need to ask questions. So at the end of your project, I'll ask some questions, some leading questions, and I want you to answer them about your research. So that's it. That is how this is going to work. There's going to be another video, like I said, providing a little bit more information on just what I'll be requiring, and that'll be able to help you as well. But if you have questions or you just want ideas for a topic, let's meet on Skype and let's figure it out. But I don't want this to be like a really bogged down final project. Oh no. No, I actually want this to be something that's interesting. I want you to be enthusiastic. I want you to come to me and say, look at Mr. Kuchma, I found out all this awesome stuff about this topic that that I was studying. And maybe you prove your hypothesis, maybe you don't. Maybe you learn something totally different and you're like, oh, I didn't expect to figure this out. So anyway, I look forward to getting the chance to view your final project once you're at the end, and I hope you have a fun time creating it.